Good afternoon. I'm Don Brennan in for Scott Dennis today. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Now, topping our news at noon, a massive search and rescue operation is underway in Mexico after a deadly explosion at a fireworks market. At least 31 people are dead, 50 more are injured, including 10 children, and at least 11 are still missing. ABC's Elizabeth Herr has the story.
The video is incredible. The outcome, devastating and deadly. A fireworks market packed with shoppers rocked by an explosion triggering a chain reaction.
Una grande explosión.
For witnesses, the scene overwhelming and unbelievable.
No, hombre, era un caos aquí.
And the explosion so powerful, this person called it sheer chaos. It happened in Mexico, about 40 miles outside of Mexico City during the market's busiest week, just before Christmas and New Year's Eve. Overnight, the Red Cross moved in, rushing the injured victims to the hospitals, some with burns over 90% of their bodies. Angelica Martinez is desperate. Her boyfriend is still missing. This morning, Martinez and other family and friends flooded the market site, hoping for answers. Araceli Vasquez survived the blast, but now back at the scene, looking for 3 of her family members, including 2 children. As for the investigation, it's still unclear how this happened, but this is the 3rd major explosion at the market in the last 11 years, but the first time it turned deadly. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
New developments this afternoon on the terrorist attacks in Berlin. German officials say they've identified a suspect after his ID papers were found in a hijacked truck. He is described as being a young Tunisian man in his early 20s, and it's believed he is armed. On Monday, a truck barreled through a holiday market that was packed with shoppers, killing 12 people. ISIS is claiming responsibility. Those who were at the market that day are blaming the lack of security for the attack.
Obviously, this place was not protected enough.
We want to let the terrorists win, so why should we? If everyone stays away, they're winning.
A memorial has been laid out for the victims. Meanwhile, dozens of other Christmas markets across Germany are under heavy security now. And here at home, Bradenton police are investigating a suspicious incident involving a man offering students candy and then asking them to get into his car. This one incident happened yesterday near Seabreeze Elementary School in Bradenton. Police say the student was approached by a man driving a white sedan, possibly a Toyota. And it was near the school that this happened. The driver opened his front passenger door and told the child to get in. The boy ended up running away. Anyone with any information on the driver is asked to call the Bradenton Police Department. And a decision regarding the police shooting of a Punta Gorda woman isn't likely to come until next year. 73-year-old Mary Knowlton was accidentally shot and killed during a citizen police training exercise back in August. Officer Lee Cole pulled the trigger but didn't realize the gun was still loaded. He has been on paid administrative leave ever since. Now, the state attorney's office will decide whether or not to press charges, but it won't happen until after the new year. The case involving a former circuit judge and an attorney in Manatee County will head to the Florida Supreme Court for review. Formal complaints have been filed against John Lakin and Melton Little. This all happened after the Florida bar found probable cause of misconduct. It comes after Lakin admitted that he accepted Tampa Bay Rays tickets from Little while the attorney was representing a client in a lawsuit that was pending in Lakin's courtroom. A committee has found that the two violated rules of professional conduct, and they also found probable cause that Little disrupted decorum of those court proceedings. As many people head out to their Christmas destinations, airports across the country are gearing up for a busy week, of course. ABC 7's Jacqueline Matter joins us now with what you need to know about packing those Christmas presents so they can get through security.
Yeah, Don, while packing a beautifully wrapped gift in your luggage may seem like a great way to avoid shipping costs or your best option when it comes to getting your presents to your final destination, you may be causing more trouble for yourself than expected. The TSA warns that even presents can hold up the line when it comes to traveling through security. That's because oftentimes TSA agents have to screen items, of course, and wrapped gifts are no exception. Airports are warning passengers that if they do check or carry on luggage with wrapped gifts, those gifts may get opened for inspection or worse, confiscation. The Sarasota-Bradenton International Airport is asking travelers to wait to wrap their gifts until arriving at their final destination.
Sometimes if they can't decipher what it is, they're going to have to take it apart, and that's never a good thing.
It's come to a point where we all have to play the part and, you know, open my bags, check me, I'm ready. It just makes me feel better to know that they're doing security to keep us safe.
Now, Piccolo says all travelers must abide by TSA regulations regarding prohibited items on board aircraft, such as no more than 3 ounces of liquid in a carry-on, even despite the holidays. In the studio, Jacqueline Matter, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Just because we're getting a lot of chills here on the Suncoast, it's really not chilly compared to everywhere else, and doesn't mean it isn't cool here. Today kicks off the first official day of the winter season. December 21st is the winter solstice, at least in the northern hemisphere. The winter solstice is the day with the fewest hours and minutes of daylight or sunlight for the whole year. So in other words, the days will keep getting longer now after today, and the nights will be shorter until June 21st. Some parts of the country have been feeling the freeze for weeks, thanks to a recent storm that blew in temperatures below 0. Yes, John, thankfully, we had none of that, and that's why I live in Florida.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything even close to that, and nor will we. It doesn't look like, at least through the end of this month, it looks like. Maybe at the very end of this month, we might get a front moving through here so that the new year starts off a little bit cooler, maybe a little more seasonable, but right now it sure looks like as we head into the Christmas holiday, the Hanukkah holiday, we're not going to see anything but abnormally warm temperatures.
Well,
you good with that?
I am perfect with
Just
that.
not a problem.
You know, I do
Okay.
like a little break, and because we do have such hot temperatures for so long. But
Right.
I really, winter for me, 2 days fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
You're done. You know, I hear differing opinions. Some people would like to see a little blast of cooler air coming in, or at least some lower humidity. And maybe the lower humidity part I can help you with, but certainly not the cooler temperatures. We have a lot of cloud cover around right now. We had some patchy, I guess you could call it fog. It was kind of a mist more than anything else. Really didn't do a whole lot in obscuring visibilities. The cloud cover pretty thick, giving us uniform temperatures between inland and coastal areas, and even a little spritz of heavy mist, call it a light drizzle, I guess. Didn't even probably classify as drizzle. But there is some clearing that will be taking place later on this afternoon. And as you can see, there's nothing under the rainfall, nothing on radar under those clouds in terms of rainfall. Go for a daytime high, and really a lot of this is going to be dependent on just when we do break into a little bit of sunshine. I'll go with 78 as a daytime high. And then overnight tonight, under clearing skies, I think we'll probably have a pretty nice evening with kind of a cooler, crisper morning. Talk all about that in just a few minutes, Don.
Thank you, John. Now, the Manatee County Public Works Department and the school district are working together in an effort to make getting to and from school safer for students. According to the Bradenton Herald, the two groups are applying for a grant that will go towards improving road conditions. The funding would be used to fix up and add sidewalks near Canaan Elementary and Sugg Middle School, and also Bayshore High School. It would also go towards adding more lighting on 53rd Avenue West, which is right alongside Bayshore High School. Now, the State College of Florida is taking some time out to help bring joy to children who are just stuck in the hospital this holiday season. The kids were greeted by SCF's Maverick the Manatee, and some were a little overwhelmed, while others were just so eager to give him a big hug. The school brought gift baskets for the kids and the staff who takes care of them. The visit to the hospital is an annual holiday tradition for the school.
The State College of Florida has been part of this community for over 60 years, and being part of the community is what a community college is all about.
Other than being shy, I mean, normally they openly play. It gives them a little excitement during the day rather than just being stuck in the beds.
Just spread some cheer.
Well, Dr. Prosfeld was also included in the group that included a few alumni nursing students. And after Sarasota Memorial, well, they didn't stop there. They left for Bradenton Memorial to do the same thing for kids there. And time now to head over to the kitchen and check in with ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher. Judy?
Well, hey there, Donnie. It's the holidays when we can all get a little bit stressed about the cooking. Certainly for me, since I have both Hanukkah and Christmas, and I'll be frying up those latkes come Monday on my show. But today I'm going to focus on Christmas and doing things easy and cutting down on ingredients. So I have a spiral ham that I picked up at the fresh market. You basically just honestly unpack it, move the wrapping. It already has a caramelization that's going to go on. We're going to serve this with a beautiful cranberry relish that's also going to work towards our appetizer. I'll be right back.
These are our heroes. They have sacrificed so much to serve our country. And now Granny Nannies is truly honored to serve them. We're here and we're ready to help. Call us today.
ABC7 is proud to present Line Dance Central. Now you can learn popular country and not-so-country line dances from the comfort of your own home. Just visit mysuncoast.com, click on Entertainment, and you'll be kicking up your boots or flip-flops in no time. Brought to you by the White Buffalo Saloon and Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram.
This holiday season, give the greatest gifts of all, performance and peace of mind. Subaru was named the 2016 Best Overall Brand, Most Trusted, and Best Performance Brand by Kelley Blue Book. And ALT has named Subaru its top mainstream brand for residual value for 2016. Now during the Subaru Share the Love event, you can lease a new Outback for just $229 a month or get 0% financing. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
At Granny Nannies, we provide your loved ones with the care they deserve, compassionate and experienced help right where you need it most, at home. Visit us at grannynannies.com.
A helping hand and a gentle heart.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we look at an air temperature coming in that's pretty comfortable, coming in at 68 degrees or so. We have a dew point of 61. Dew point is falling. We are starting the day off with some very cool temperatures across the entire area. 70 Myakka, 68 Sarasota, 70 in Venice, 70 in Inglewood, 71 in Northport, 68 Longboat. We just haven't raised our temperatures all that much. We have a lot of cloud cover around. We have a very saturated air. I do think that if we break out into a little sunshine, though, we can bump those temperatures up by about 5 to 8 degrees by the end of the day. And I'm not too worried about that. It's just how soon we can get into a little bit of sunshine. I think we're on the doorstep. There'll be some sunshine just to the north of us now, some of the reporting stations up there. And we have a kind of a sharp delineation between the really thicker cloud cover and thin clouds that will allow some sun and some heating through. You'll notice the clouds are basically moving from west to east across the northern tier and even in the center part of the country. This is what we call a zonal flow, which means it's going from west to east and not much north-south motion. So cold air stays north, warm air stays south, and you just don't get a lot of motion. Now, we did have a front that moved through. That's what's causing all the cloud cover to our south here. And that frontal boundary did allow some cooler air to move in, some lower dew point air. And it will continue to drain down over the next 24 hours or so until the winds shift one more time. But this is not an Arctic blast. This is not a drainage of cold air all the way down the country and into the peninsula of Florida. It's just not. It's a little bit of the colder air that was already in place now finally pushed through our area in a modified form. Some drier air just on our doorstep here will certainly allow the temperatures to bump up a little bit, but we'll still, if we get enough sunshine today, still run above average in our temperatures. The temperature we're feeling now is just a few degrees below what we would normally feel at this time of year for a daytime high. So if we get a little sunshine in here, we'll again end up above average for the day. And you can see the high moisture content air here indicated by the turquoise color rapidly being replaced by the browner colors of drier air as high pressure builds in. The frontal boundary itself in the process of decaying away, winds out of the northeast bringing down that drier air. Now eventually those winds are going to shift more to the east. That'll cut off the cold air drainage, and as a frontal boundary moves through here, it certainly won't cool us down all that much. It might just pick up the wind speeds a little bit, and by the weekend we'll start to warm once again. So today slightly cooler than yesterday. Lots of clouds around, but in the process of decaying away, and much sunnier skies by tomorrow. You look at the wind speeds are, not too terribly bad. This is not a strong frontal boundary by any stretch of the imagination, 10 to 15 knot wind, that's about it at most. For boaters today, those winds picking up a little bit in the afternoon, 10 to 15 knots, will give you a moderate chop later on tonight, but right now a light chop out in bay and inland waters. And the forecast calls for, after a cooler couple of days, I won't call them cool because they're still above average. By the time we get to the weekend, we'll be well above average, with Christmas Day probably cracking the 80-degree mark and staying there for the first couple of days of the new week, the last week of the year. Donnie?
Excellent. Thank you, John. Now, in our health news today, traditional methods we use for caring for a person with a concussion are now being thrown out the window. One of those methods is resting. New studies now showing that laying someone down or cutting back on physical activities might not be good in the long run. Doctors say old advice, such as constantly waking a person from sleep after a concussion, is outdated and may even slow the recovery process.
There's really no benefit to waking a child or an adolescent or an adult up to check on them because after we've had some sufficient period of observation to make sure that they're not developing these red flags of concern, then all we're doing by waking someone up is sleep depriving them.
Researchers also found that those who perform light activities have a lower risk of post-concussion symptoms after a month. Good news for people who have female doctors. According to the American Medical Association, female doctors are better at treating their patients long-term than their male counterparts. The study looked at patients hospitalized between 2011 and 2014 and found that patients who saw a female doctor were less likely to die within 30 days of leaving the hospital. They're also less likely to get readmitted within a 1-month span of their initial surcharge. Researchers say women are more likely to do evidence-based medicine and follow clinical guidelines. They're also better at communicating. Despite the perks, though, women doctors are still being paid and promoted less than men. And coming up on your Suncoast News, unique opportunities going to a Buccaneers team captain for the 5th straight time. And thanks to one hockey team, this Christmas will be an extra special one for a little boy having a hard time during the holidays. Those stories and more when we come back.
Google GoWildHonda.com. Lease a CRV for $219 during Wild's final clearance. Just $219 and 0 down. Now at GoWildHonda.com or visit Wild Honda Sarasota. It's gotta be wild.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on MySuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, restaurant guide, and more. Go to MySuncoast.com/dining.
The kitchen is where life happens. Minnesota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today.
Hey, I'm really glad that you're taking a few moments to check out this video about the ministry of First Sarasota Downtown Baptist Church. I'm William Hill, lead pastor here at First Sarasota. For the last 15 years, it's been my privilege to share in the life of this faith community, a community that centers itself around faith, friends, and family. Indeed, it is a ministry that's been in existence right here in this wonderful city for over a century.
They took that stress and that tension when I was particularly feeling very bad after that nasty car accident, and it was such a relief to know that I didn't have to bear that burden alone, that I had help.
Our goal is to not just get a satisfactory settlement on their case. We want them up on their feet, happy again. They've gotten their life back.
Don't miss the 19th annual Thunder by the Bay Motorcycle Festival, January 5th through the 8th, to benefit Suncoast Charities for Children. This year's festival welcomes special guest Blue Oyster Cult to the premier sports campus at Lakewood Ranch on January 8th at 4 p.m. Admission is free. Festival events include a sporting clay tournament, kickoff party, welcome Thunder event, Cruise for Cash charity motorcycle ride, and a 2-day Rockin' and Ridin' at the Ranch festival featuring vendors, live music, a taste of Thunder area, and more. VIP tickets are available. For tickets and info, visit thunderbybthebay.org.
Google GoWildHonda.com. Lease a Civic for $179 during Wild's final clearance. Just $179 and 0 down. Now at GoWildHonda.com or visit Wild Honda Sarasota. It's gotta be wild.
Welcome back, everybody. Gerald McCoy, the Buccaneers team captain and standout defensive tackle, has been named to his 5th straight Pro Bowl. Now, the young stud wide receiver Mike Evans was named to his first Pro Bowl. He has 84 catches for 1,159 yards with 10 touchdowns this season thus far. He's in the top 5 categories in all 3. Now, he has broken the 1,000-yard mark in all 3 of his NFL seasons, and now he's been rewarded with a Pro Bowl. McCoy and Evans were the only 2 Bucs to be selected. McCoy will be a starter on the game that is on January 29th, and it'll be played this year in Orlando. And get your tissues out. This is about to become a 2 to 3 tissue show here. Patrick Maroon, he grew up in St. Louis and rooting for the St. Louis Blues, the NHL hockey team there. He's now an NHL hockey player, and his wife and son Anthony still live in St. Louis, while Maroon is playing in Edmonton for the Oilers. Well, Maroon got to return to his hometown, and he scored the game-tying goal on the way to an Oilers win, 3-2 win, and it was emotional enough with that, but it was the post-game interview that has everybody in tears.
Yeah, the goal was great, but I wonder what you think of this reaction by your son and family.
It's pretty cool. Pretty emotional. I don't get to see him as much, and it's pretty special.
Yeah, and he thinks that of you as well. Hey, Patrick, thanks a lot. Christmas is on the way. More time with Anthony.
Absolutely.
Maroon tweeted that he is as big a cheerleader for his son as Anthony is for him. Maroon has 9 goals this season, but none more emotional than that or more popular either. And staying on the ice, the 7-year-old boy's spirits lifted by a one-of-a-kind special surprise from his favorite hockey team. Seth's father died 32 days before he was born. He was killed in a parachute accident during a military training exercise. It's always around Christmas time that Seth says he wished he had his dad around. A youth hockey team in the area heard his story and invited Seth to one of their practices. So Seth thought he was just going to watch the practice with his mom, but he quickly found out that he was going to be lacing up and joining the team on the ice. He even left with his own jersey, and his mother says her husband would be proud.
Seth is very much like his father, and they're both go-getters and really great achievers.
For him to have a moment where he can think about, you know, his dad, the hero in his heart, and meet his heroes on the ice, I mean, that's just extraordinary.
The hockey team is actually part of a tragedy assistance program for children who have lost a military dad or mom, in some cases both the mom and dad. And the team says brightening a child's Christmas never gets old for them. Well, Judy is here to help us maybe wipe the tears away, but also help us celebrate a little Christmas, a little Hanukkah. Judy, what's happening over there? It looks good.
I'm making things that are really easy, Donnie, because I want to spend more time with my guests. It's the biggest complaint that everybody's always said, Judy, you're always in the kitchen. And while I love it, I really want to spend time with them. So this is something that you can make a day or 2 ahead of time. We're going to use it on crostinis. We're going to make a pear and orange cranberry compote. That's also going to be a great garnish to go with the ham. So let me open up the oven door and let you know the ham is really roasting well. Notice I'm using an iron cast skillet. I'm going to serve the ham like this, then it's going to actually go in the refrigerator later on, and I can take it out for brunch the next day and just put some scrambled eggs around it and biscuits. Let's get into the cranberries. I have 1 container of fresh cranberries. You can just scoop them yourself, or you can get them by the bag, but do use the fresh. Then to that, I'm going to add about a cup of water, and I'm going to take an orange, and what I want you to do is I want you to peel the orange, take the pith off, which is the white part, get about half of the orange into sections without the white again, and mash that up. It's going to cook in with the cranberries. Then we're going to add our seasoning. We're going to add some star anise. 1 or 2 is going to be just fine. I'm going to take some mustard seeds, a bay leaf, and some fresh rosemary from the garden, and I'm going to tie them in a little piece of cheesecloth, and that's already in there. That's called a bouquet garni, in case you see in a recipe. But listen, folks, I have a great idea. If you don't want to have to do all that, don't. What you can do is buy a box of mulling spice. Get your apple cider. The whole house will smell wonderful. You have warm apple cider for at night. And take the mulling spices and just sprinkle in about a tablespoon's worth. Then continue to just give it a mash. This is going to simmer for about 15 minutes. When we come back, we're going to add the diced pear and some natural sweet honey, and then we'll have a beautiful topping for crostinis and goat cheese and camembert, and we'll check on our ham.
Rich finishes, beautiful colors, and over 1,000 different fabrics and leathers to choose from. With Bassett Custom Furniture at Bacon's Furniture and Bedding. Get a quality-built Bassett Queen Sleeper with your choice of inner spring, gel, or Air Dream mattress, starting at only $9.99. Come in today, and we'll guarantee your Bassett Custom Furniture will be shipped before the holidays. With our complimentary design service, start designing, start loving. Only at Bacon's Furniture and Bedding in Port Charlotte. Nobody beats Bacon's.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
Alex Karras Lincoln's holiday sales event is here. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKC Sports Utility for $269 per month, or a 2017 MKZ for $299 per month. We are proud to introduce the newest addition to the Lincoln lineup, the all-new 2017 Lincoln Continental. We have a great selection and ready for immediate delivery. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury. Winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Sun Coast since 1978. We're located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41. Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
A poodle butter dish. I'll use this. A chicken purse. It's so artsy. You're really good at giving gifts.
This holiday, give the perfect gift.
Perfect.
Flowers, always the perfect gift. Beniva Flowers and Gifts, exceeding your expectations.
Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. I'm Don Brennan in for Scott Dennis today. And topping our national headlines, a special meeting took place this morning in North Carolina to reconsider the so-called bathroom bill. The Charlotte City Council voted 7-2 to repeal the city ordinance. It's part of an overall deal to repeal the bathroom law entirely. The law, also known as House Bill 2, limits transgender people from using the bathrooms and changing facilities that correspond to their gender identity, unless they get the sex on their birth certificate changed. Yesterday, the City Council voted unanimously to rescind the ordinance that led to House Bill 2. One activist speaks on the issue.
People are living in terror. Trans people don't feel like they can use the restroom, be in public without fear. LGBT people as well, lesbian, gay, bisexual people are also concerned and feel discriminated against. And then everybody feels like our reputation has been tarnished.
The bill resulted in a series of lawsuits and major loss of business and jobs in the state, and the NBA moved the NBA All-Star Game out of Charlotte for February, and so also the repeal would be part of a deal that had the city of Charlotte abandon much of its ordinance that prompted the state bill. And happening today, President-elect Donald Trump is expected to meet with the man he has tapped to be his national security advisor. Retired General Michael Flynn will be meeting with the president-elect sometime today in Florida. Flynn was fired in 2014 by President Obama as head of the Defense Intelligence Agency. Today's meeting will reportedly be for briefings on events around the world, as well as a staffing discussion. Trump is spending the holidays at his mansion, Mar-a-Lago, in Palm Beach. The county is asking the federal government to reimburse them for the costs of protecting the president-elect during his stay there. And President Obama keeping busy in the final weeks of his time in office. Recently, he made moves to address key parts of his agenda. They're meant to solidify his legacy and make them harder to undo by his successor. Athena Jones explains.
President Obama moving to secure his legacy on the environment and beyond before he hands the presidency to Donald Trump. Tonight, new measures to bar offshore drilling indefinitely in parts of the Arctic and Atlantic Oceans, in part to prevent environmental disasters like the BP oil spill.
I share people's concerns about offshore drilling. I remember the BP spill in the Gulf of Mexico all too well.
It's an issue that has been front and center for the president, who sees climate change as the greatest threat facing future generations and believes the U.S. and the world must do more to combat it.
We're not moving fast enough. And for the sake of our kids, we've got to keep going. America has to lead the world in transitioning to a clean energy economy.
President Obama's last-minute move is based on a 64-year-old law, not an easily reversible executive order, creating a legal hurdle for the incoming president, a climate change skeptic who has vowed to pull out of the Paris Climate Accords and to increase domestic energy production.
Every energy dollar that isn't harvested here in America is harvested instead in a foreign country, often foreign countries not very friendly to us.
And the president isn't just taking action on the environment. He's also preparing to transfer an additional 17 or 18 inmates from the U.S. prison at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, to other countries, according to the New York Times, slashing the remaining population there by nearly a third, though stopping short of fulfilling his 2008 campaign promise to close the prison.
It will be judged harshly by history, and I will continue to do all that I can to remove this blot on our national honor.
And happening today, New York real estate heir Robert Durst will be in court for a hearing on documents seized in the murder case against him. The 73-year-old is accused of killing writer Susan Berman in 2000. Authorities moved quickly to arrest Durst last year because they feared he would flee after his confession to multiple killings aired in an HBO documentary. The docuseries focused on the 1982 disappearance of Durst's first wife, which remains unsolved. In the film, Durst appeared to mutter to himself that he killed them all and claims he was high on meth during some of the interviews. Durst is pleading not guilty. And new at noon, the number of inmates getting sentenced to death is seeing a decline. According to a new report, only 30 people were given the death sentence this year. That's the lowest number since the early 1970s and a drop from 49 deaths last year. Experts say there's a growing reluctance of juries wanting to sentence defendants to death. The report comes from the Death Penalty Information Center, a nonprofit group that opposes capital punishment and tracks the issue. All right, John. Well, I don't know. This is, I'm all right with the heat. No problems. But a lot of people, they would like a little cool blast for Christmas.
They would. They would.
They ain't going to get it.
Not from here. No, it sure doesn't look like it. It looks like actually we'll probably, up and down the eastern seaboard, maybe be breaking records for warm temperatures. You know, last year we had an incredibly warm Christmas.
Even like up north?
All the way up.
I thought it was just like 0 this week up there.
Well, it is. They're on a little bit of a roller coaster. They'll probably get a snowstorm just before Christmas in the northeast and open plains, and then warmer air will move in. So it's going to be a real roller coaster ride for a lot of folks. We started off the morning with a lot of cloud cover and still are dealing with it, though we're in the process of breaking into a little more sunshine, I think, in the second half of the day. The Cortez Bridge webcam yesterday was obscured by fog. Today, not so much. But there has been a little bit of patchy drizzle from time to time, or heavy mist, I guess, is probably even more accurate. And you can see the heaviest and the thickest of the clouds pushing south, and we will see a little bit of sun this afternoon. No rain under any of these clouds. We remain rain-free today. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in just a few, Don.
Thank you, John. In consumer news, one way or another, the federal government is going to is going to go to that money for student loans. Security checks now being docked to pay back old loans. That's according to the Government Accountability Office. Since 2001, the government has collected about $1.1 billion from Social Security recipients to go towards unpaid student loans. The checks mostly affected are those who are 50 or older receiving disability benefits. And if you're a Walt Disney pass holder, you're in for a holiday treat. Starting today, annual pass holders can now skip long lines at the entrances by using special gateways for pass holders only. The entrances will be at all 4 Walt Disney World parks, including Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Disney's Hollywood Studios, and Disney's Animal Kingdom. Just look for the signs after going through each park security checkpoint. The benefit will run into January. There's no date on when it'll end just yet.
We have a new donut.
Krispy Kreme has a new treat for the donut junkies. That's right, it's called the Nutty Cocoa Ring. The donut is inspired by Nutella and is dipped in the popular hazelnut spread. Oh, I think I'm done here today. And drizzled with chocolate icing, crunchy hazelnut pieces, sprinkled along the top. Don't wait for too long. If that sounds really good, you want to get it, you better get it now, because Krispy Kreme says the donut will only be available for a limited time. Now, speaking of wonderful treats, let's head back to the kitchen and see what Chef Judy is cooking up.
Easy for you to say. You're just in that blur of that awesome donut, but I'll make you something that's even better with chocolate and caramel. Let's get back to our cranberries. So it's reduced down really well. We have the orange peel, we have the orange segments. Now we're going to add some soft Bartlett pears. So I often make this and then I just freeze it because you're going to cool it down. So as we're cooking it down, now we're going to add about 3/4 of a cup of a dry white wine. And this time of year, I always have a few different wines open. Just you don't want to use too much sugar because you want to balance everything off. And we're going to use honey. A nice creamy honey is what you're going to use. A mild, like a clover honey, but a creamy honey just adds this really nice texture. So about a tablespoon of that. And we'll cook this back down with the wine for about a half an hour. Then as everything starts to soften, let's go over to some that's already done. I did this yesterday, so it's nice and cold. I've taken out the bouquet garni, which had the star anise and the bay leaf. And remember, I said you don't have to do that. If you want to just use mulling spices that are powdered, you can do that as well. So this is basically all set. We don't want to use the big orange rind that's in here, so we can just put it in for that batch. Now let's get to the actual appetizer we're going to do. I picked up some camembert cheese and simply already done fresh rosemary rounds. You can certainly toast your own bread if you prefer. And now I'm just going to take either ricotta or camembert cheese. You could use brie. You could even use feta if you wanted a balance of salt on that. But feta's salty since we're having the ham as well. And we're just going to top this right there. Slice of cheese, the cranberry, and we get some all the way around. Then we have plenty left to serve with this beautiful southern homey looking ham. So we have appetizer, The wine is already open that's going in the cranberry dish. Our ham is glazed, and I think we're just about ready to serve lunch for Don because I think he's really hungry today. So stay with me. I'll be back in a few.
The official Suncoast Storm team at ABC 7. We're here for you.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Types of timber, cuts of meat, cooking times, temperatures, rubs, seasonings, sauces. You name it, they know it. That's what makes them who they are, Sonny's Pitmasters. And proud of it. Come get some baby back ribs at Sonny's Barbecue. On their own or paired with favorites like jalapeno cheddar hot links or pulled or sliced pork plus 2 sides and bread. Sonny's Barbecue. Local Pitmasters since '68.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
One of those Judy Gallagher Christinis, and I'll tell you what, they're pretty good. You gotta try those. 68 degrees, the current air temperature. We're starting to raise the temperatures a little bit, but boy, it's just taken a long time because all that cloud cover out there. And we have a 61-degree dew point. We have a north wind coming in at about 8, and we still have a lot of cloud cover out there. I think as we head into the next couple hours, we'll start to break down some of that cloud cover and get some drier air in here, not only at the surface, but aloft as well, and help to bring us a little more sunshine. This is dew point temperature map. Shows you where the moisture is, where it isn't. And I'll tell you what, it is very clear that you have 2 separate moisture regimes in the state of Florida right now. You've got a moist environment down to the south with dew points in the 60s and 70s, and then to the north in the 40s, the dew point values. Now, the thing is that if you look at this map, you obviously need to bring that northern air south, and that's exactly what these winds are doing. They're all out of the north or northeast and across the region. That is going to help drain down some of that drier air. Once we get that drier air in place, we'll be able to, lower our nighttime temperatures just a little bit, our daytime high temperatures as well, and we'll also get a little bit of clearing to take place because it's not only at the surface, but it's aloft that the dry air is located. So we're right on the edge right now of seeing some of that drier air filter south. The heaviest of the cloud cover is just about right over us now, but this is a water vapor imagery showing where the moisture is aloft, and the browns are the drier air, and that drier air is sinking southward, rapidly replacing the moisture that's in place. So we'll see some clearing take place in the second half of today, particularly overnight tonight. We'll have clear skies. High pressure builds in, winds out of the north. Eventually those winds will start shifting a little bit more east as high pressure scoots eastward. And what that will do will be to shut off the cold air drainage before it really even gets a chance to start all that much. So even though tomorrow will be slightly cooler than today, we'll start to warm up again day after tomorrow. And even though we have a cold front approaching, that front won't do much more than just retain the status quo for a day or two and maybe kick up the wind speeds a bit. And by the weekend, we'll start warming up once again. So slightly cooler today, lots of clouds around, and then sunnier skies on the way. That offshore wind flow, by the way, that northeasterly wind, really good in terms of helping out with some of the irritants in the air from the red tide concentrations, which have been in the high category in the waters on some of the area beaches. As some of that toxin makes its way into the air at the beaches, it does produce some respiratory distress. So a nice offshore flow is good. Northeast wind coming in at about 10 knots this afternoon, 10 to 15 later tonight. And we'll have about a 75-degree temperature tomorrow for a daytime high after a low near 60. And then over the next couple of days, we'll start to warm up again. Christmas, about 81 degrees. Don?
Excellent. Thank you, John. Now, if you live in Bradenton, there could come a time when your life is in one woman's hands. But rest assured, you're in a safe place. ABC 7's Linda Carson has the story of the Bradenton Police Chief, Melanie Bevan.
Bradenton Police Chief Melanie Bevan is a Florida native. She was born in Winter Park, grew up in Largo, and finished high school there.
I was in the band, very involved in the Band of Gold. Back then, it was being in the band, and particularly at Largo High, was a big deal.
She started classes at St. Pete Junior College while still in high school and worked at Montgomery Ward.
As a loss prevention specialist, and I was quite certain that there was no other job more influential or empowering than mine, right? I had a radio, I had a set of handcuffs, I could have the roam of the store.
And one day when she chased down a shoplifter, a female police officer came to arrest the guy.
I had my handcuffs and radio, but she had a whole gun belt.
Melanie was impressed. So at 19, she got a job at the St. Pete Police Department. She's had several close calls, once on a domestic call.
I stepped out and there, you know, on the porch is a woman with a 44 Magnum gun with a 10-inch barrel.
The woman opened fire.
I shot back. I wasn't really very accurate. I'm diving for the house, but I did shoot out her porch light.
That inspired Melanie to improve her shooting skills, and it got the attention of her superiors.
They actually brought me over to Vice and Narcotics, and for the next 5 years, I was Kathy Crackhead.
After the undercover work, she went back on patrol duty and back to college.
I went to school for 17 years and finished out the day with a doctorate.
And she was moving up through the ranks, but she couldn't have children, so she adopted 2 baby boys.
Had to travel to Ukraine, one of the most difficult things I've ever done, heartbreaking. You know, they came from an orphanage and pretty deplorable conditions there.
After 29 years on the St. Pete Police Force, she accepted the job in Bradenton. She has deep respect for the 120 officers she commands.
In most officers' heart, it's this commitment to just give of themselves and to protect society and protect their community and to do it without regard for their own safety.
But she's determined to keep them safe. And the life lesson she's teaching her sons?
Hard work and perseverance and a commitment, you know, to doing things the right way.
These are all of the badges that Chief Bevan has worn during her long career, but the badge she wears today is the most precious. This is the Memorial Badge. It's worn in honor of a fallen officer who died in the line of duty. This has been a horrible, deadly year, and she and the Bradenton Police Department are wearing this badge until the end of the year. Linda Carson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Now, Chief Bevan still lives in St. Pete, but that's only because she has 2 17-year-old sons and they're about to finish high school. Once they're off to college, she'll move to Bradenton. Now, speaking of police, further up north, there's a new crime unit that specializes in giving out hugs rather than arrest warrants. The Charleston Police Department in West Virginia has developed their very own Grandma Unit, or their G Unit, as their shirts say. The women were sworn in yesterday in an official police ceremony. All 11 members were victims of elderly abuse or domestic violence at one point. So they say their mission is to spread more love and hugs, and something they say a lot of people don't get enough of.
Sometimes I'm not feeling good or I'm feeling low, and somebody will give me a hug and I'll feel better. And then I share my hug with someone else.
Oh my goodness, it's a win for everybody. They feel good by doing it and they want to do it. That's what helps. It's an awesome partnership.
The partnership is being made possible by the YMCA. Police say the ladies also love to party, and they had cake and played bingo after their swearing-in ceremony. And they say the first mission for the G Unit is thinking of where they want to start spreading the love. And well, when we come back, we're going to check in one last time with Chef Judy if John hasn't destroyed the kitchen over there. And a kind gesture turns into a dream come true for one woman battling stage 4 breast cancer. The celebrity that made it all possible, well, you'll find out coming up.
ABC 7 is proud to present Line Dance Central. Now you can learn popular country and not-so-country line dances from the comfort of your own home. Just visit mysuncoast.com, click on Entertainment, and you'll be kicking up your boots or flip-flops in no time. Brought to you by the White Buffalo Saloon and Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram.
Selling your home? Insist on a 3D showcase tour from Gulf Shores Realty. Virtual tours are flat and boring and look more like a slideshow than a tour. A 3D tour from Gulf Shores Realty is like actually walking through the home without the drive. Get instant access to your next home from any device. Multiple views give homebuyers a perspective like no other. For a limited time, mention ABC7 and Gulf Shores Realty will provide a complimentary 3D tour with your new listing.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Since 1928, Karastan has been setting the standard in carpets and rugs, producing non-allergenic wools that won't promote the growth of bacteria or dust mites like other carpets will. Karastan wools actively remove contaminants from the indoor air, making your home healthier. And there are many colors and patterns and textures to choose from. Come see for yourself.
So many possibilities worth exploring. Minnesota flooring.
Only Fiat gives you Italian engineering with a heavy dose of Suncoast style. So what are you waiting for? Hurry in for big savings during the Big Finish event going on now at Alfa Romeo Fiat of Sarasota.
A poodle butter dish. I'll use this. A chicken purse. It's so artsy. You're really good at giving gifts.
This holiday, give the perfect gift.
Perfect.
Flowers, always the perfect gift. Beniva Flowers and Gifts, exceeding your expectations.
Florida Studio Theater presents Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves, celebrating fierce women with fierce vocals from the 70s through today. Featuring songs by performers such as Cher, Tina Turner, and Reba McEntire. Don't miss what critics are saying is a lively, high-energy driving review with powerhouse singers. Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves is now playing. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting floridastudiotheater.org.
John, okay, I'm taking over. The man is one with his camembert. So we have the perfectly glazed spiral ham, right? Really easy. And we're going to serve that with the cranberry orange pear relish. And then we took crostinis already made, and we put either ricotta or camembert cheese and that cranberry orange right on top. It's delicious. You keep eating, and Donnie, I'm sending it back to you.
Good stuff, Donnie.
Good stuff.
Yeah, tough assignment, tough assignment. Finally this afternoon, all 30-year-old Larissa Podermansky wanted to do was meet Mariah Carey for Christmas. Now, Larissa's battling stage 4 breast cancer and has been getting chemotherapy treatments for months. Her nurses and husband wanted to do something to inspire her, so they made a Christmas video with one of Mariah Carey's backup dancers. Now, the video caught the attention of the pop diva, and she flew Larissa and her husband out to New York City, where she treated them to dinner, invited them to a concert.
And we got to talk for like 15 minutes. I told her about how her music has inspired me, it keeps me motivated, and how it has the power to pick me up on the bad days. That any cancer survivor would tell you that we have bad days all the time.
Larissa's Christmas video has been seen more than 6,000 times on social media. And to add to the excitement, the day they went to Mariah's concert, was the same day Larissa's husband proposed to her, which was also at a Mariah Carey concert. So their anniversary. Yes, Judy would like us to fly Bruce Springsteen to her or vice versa.
Please, hint.
Yes.
Please, Bruce, come on now,
So
I'll cook for you.
Yeah, John, if you need something special, you can't think of that perfect thing for Judy, there you go. I just gave it to you on a silver platter there.
Bring the band.
Right. Although on a silver platter, you would drop it to the way things are going, right?
Oh man, I tell you what, it's a good day actually. That stuff that Judy made over there, that the cranberry with the camembert and the little crostinis. Oh man, that's
Come
good
on,
stuff.
John, how many did you take down? Tell our viewers.
A couple, 4 or 5. Maybe more.
Wow. Yeah.
No, it was really, really good, Judy. That's a great
you.
recipe. That's
Crostinis?
a nice.
Crostinis.
It's really easy. There you go. They have another close-up shot. Easy holidays. Spend more time with the people that you love.
There you go.
Unless you don't want to spend, but.
that is the rule.
Yep.
It's all about that. It's all about people.
All right.
So true.
Thank you both for joining me, and I'm going to dig into some of that food just momentarily. More news coming up at 5. We'll talk about the reward offered in the German truck accident coming up.
Sarasota Jungle Gardens invites your family to the Holiday Light Spectacular select nights in December. Come enjoy dazzling light displays, live entertainment, and pictures with Santa. Tickets and information available at the door or online at SarasotaJungleGardens.com.
Sarasota, we're uncorking something special at Michael's Wine Cellar and Tasting Room. Shop in a relaxed atmosphere with our wine specialists. You'll find 1,000 international wines, 200 under $20. National brand and boutique liquors at competitive pricing. Handcrafted beers. Stop by Michael's Wine Cellar and Tasting Room today and let us show you something exceptional.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.